Sup, fuckers? Yo. Oh, the fuckery.
What's happening, y'all?
Hey. Cool. So, thank you for coming, Kristi.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for dinner. It was great.
Thank you.
But recently, here in Vegas, we had, around the world, really, we had a huge pushback protest towards, obviously stemming from the George Floyd thing, right? Well, it wasn't stemming from there, but I think that was the one. Yeah. That was what lit it, what got it going. It was like, enough is enough. And I had seen, Angie had showed me a video of, I don't know who, it was just a random person recorded it, or who?
Random people.
Random, okay. But somehow you got a hold of it. It ends up on your Facebook page. Angie shows me. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you're the only person literally that I know that was down there. Like I didn't go down there.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody that. I don't know anybody that was down there.
No, I do.
Yeah. Hello.
And I think, yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to. I thought it'd be really cool to bring you on and then kind of see like what was it like down there. Like what did you see? What was the feeling? Like kind of take me through even how you even knew that this was gonna happen. That you guys were all gonna come down there and hang out just from.
So I got a 19-year-old daughter. She's a badass. I'd like to think I raised her right. She's very opinionated. Stands up for the right thing. She's a bad motherfucker. And,
Hell yeah.
When this stuff went down, we started seeing all the posts like there's going to be protests and blah blah blah. And I didn't really think twice about it. I was like, it's hot outside, you know. But then my daughter said, I'm going to go to this. This is very important to me, and I would like for you to go too. Okay. So I went. We met up with a girlfriend. We had my future son-in-law and his cousin with us too. And it was actually really beautiful. Like when we first got, it's hot as hell.
How did she know about it? Like, how did she know? How was it coordinated?
We seen, there was a post, there was flyers going around on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
And then there was other flyers too that were a little concerning that were saying like, not to go. And like before any of this shit went down, there was already like, I wish I could put a word to it. Like they were kind of already trying to scare us not to go.
Okay.
So that kind of made me a little more interested.
Yeah. You're
like, what's going to happen, you know? So when we first got there, it was hot. You could still have backpacks at that time. So we had water and everybody there was cool as shit, man. Like, passing out water. Everybody was really friendly. Like it wasn't what I expected. And I had not been to a protest before. Ever.
So there is like, you guys were on Fremont Street
We were on Las Vegas Boulevard. The Fremont Street happened the next night.
Okay.
And that I was in jail for. So
Okay.
I didn't see that part, but I'm going to tell you what I think happened in a little bit, how that got so wild. But when we first got there, it was probably a group of about 40 people or so. And I think they just started the chanting, and people were holding hands. People had masks on, contrary to what you'd believe. And it was cool. Like, honestly, I got goosebumps. Like look at all these people coming together to stand up for this man's life. Like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Like, fuck, man, it was beautiful. And people were mad, you know, and there was, you know, people say their name, you know, and just bringing attention.
Say his name.
Say his name. Say their name though too. There was multiple signs with everybody else's name on there. I remember one girl had in permanent marker all of the victims of police brutality on her whole body. And again, I'm getting goosebumps because I'm like, fuck, you shouldn't be able to cover your body with that many victims.
You shouldn't, yeah.
I mean, it's sad. So it wasn't wild. People weren't out of pocket. People were holding hands. There was megaphones, and they were, you know, doing the chants, and it was cool. Like it wasn't bad. And then a couple hours later, we started seeing like a police presence coming around. Okay, all right, you know.
So it wasn't there already. So police.
It wasn't there
It didn't
yet,
feel
no.
like it had already gotten at
It
least
was
as
like,
far as that.
You know, if you've ever driven down Las Vegas Boulevard and you see the other protesters in front of the government buildings for, you know, labor laws or whatever else, just small group, like that's how it was at first. And it was chill. Like, I mean, it wasn't chill. People were upset, but it wasn't.
There wasn't a battle,
It wasn't
right?
violent. It wasn't anything I was afraid of. Like, and you know, you see me, I look white. I'm Hispanic, obviously, but I'm a suburban mom. I'm 39 years old. I'm not, you know, and I was not afraid for anything. I felt comfortable, you know, and there wasn't anybody popping off. Maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, we start seeing the police are lining up, and the police are, you know, everybody is walking down Las Vegas Boulevard, and they were kind of going back and forth at first in front of the Bellagio, and I want to say the Aria. It's back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And then,
so that's like right for anybody listening that has no clue what Vegas, how it's laid out. That's like kind of right in the middle, like I guess. So Las Vegas Boulevard obviously runs north-south. That's where all the major casinos line up on, you know, either side of the street. So this is like dead smack in the middle of.
Dead in the middle.
Yeah.
It was a small group at first. And again, this was like at maybe 2 in the afternoon. Small group. And then another group came. So now we're walking a little bit further down, and the two groups met in the middle. And then they started walking back and forth, this big group. Then you kind of, like I said, start seeing a little bit more police officers showing up. And yes, there were some rowdy people that were out of pocket. You would see people saying, fuck 12 or whatever. But then you'd see the rest of the crowd like, hey, man, that's not cool. That's not what we're here for.
What's fuck 12?
Fuck the police.
Okay.
I'm learning this lingo too.
Okay, all right.
I'm 39. And I even,
was it the same people that were saying that was already in the group?
No.
Or it was like almost like this new kind of wave of people showed up?
There was more, as more people came up, it started to get a little bit rowdier, but most of the group had the rowdy people in check. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, right. Yeah, we're like, hey, this is what this is about. We're not...
Yeah, it wasn't mob mentality yet.
Okay.
So, again, as more police officers were starting to kind of line the streets, the emotions started changing a little bit. Like, people were getting a little more agitated. The police were very, imposing. It's threatening, kind of. You know, they're like in full riot gear, and they're not talking to you. Like, you could walk by. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for being here. That's what I would say.
Right.
Thank you, guys. And they don't even acknowledge you. They look right past you, and they're very, imposing. It made me uncomfortable. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm somebody that supported the police. Okay. Support my military. Support Americans. I'm a very proud American. It's very difficult for me to feel threatened. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. So you started off with this feeling towards police, like, as you were saying, like, you're thanking him for being there because you're thinking he's there for your protection, for everybody, like everything to go smooth, cool, and nobody gets out of hand, and then, but just by him almost being like, just his demeanor was like
condescending.
Yeah, it was like that's not what I'm trying to get out of this guy. Like, that's not what I would think I would see. Especially, I'm showing appreciation for what I don't know, for him being here. Thank you.
Like, my whole thing was, like, I know that we're protesting against brutality, and I know that you guys are standing here, and it's probably not cool for you to see this. Thank you, anyways, for being here. So that was kind of what I was trying to emote when I saw a police officer, and I wasn't like disrespectful. I'm not like that. Right. So anyhow, the day goes on. I had years. I'm an old lady. I had a UTI, so I had to stop to take a piss. And we got separated from our crowd, and so we went inside some sushi restaurant or whatever. Had to buy a fucking $16 bottle of water to use the
restroom. Nice.
Fuck Las Vegas.
Las Vegas Boulevard.
And so we get separated from our group, and we're going to catch up with them. And by that time, there's all these, like, they weren't SWAT, but they were like the full riot gear police, all across the street, like, so that
like
behind
face
the
shields and
face shields, the whole nine.
Okay.
And you've probably seen the pictures of it. There's aerial views where you couldn't get past them, basically. So they're telling us, well, you can't cross the street, or we can arrest you, but how do we meet up with our group?
Right.
Like, it's a crosswalk.
Okay.
So when we got in the street, then they said, well, you're impeding traffic. We said, there's no traffic. Like you
guys have it blocked off everywhere.
Cars are all, whatever. So I'm stubborn. I wasn't trying to instigate anything, but I was trying to make a point. I'm a 39-year-old woman. I'm 115 pounds. How fucking threatening am I? I'm holding a sign,
Right.
So they're saying, get on the sidewalk. And I'm saying, we want to catch up with our group. Like, now it's like a battle of wits almost, So I said, well, no, I'm going to hold this sign then, just to prove a point. Like, are you going to arrest me? Are you really going to make a scene out of this? Right? Like, I'm holding a sign. Am I a threat? Fuck yes, they did arrest me.
Yeah.
They did. And my daughter and myself and my future son-in-law, we were some of the first arrests of the day. And you've seen the video, like, you've seen I didn't go I wasn't fighting nobody. They pointed me out. They said that one with the bandana, and I honestly believe it's because the Channel 8 had been there earlier in the day, and so there was already a picture of us that had been circulating on Facebook from when we first got there holding signs in the front. So I almost think that maybe they were trying to
make you an example.
Make an example. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like afterwards. I obviously didn't see that while it was happening, but anyhow, I disobeyed. I held a sign 2 feet from a protected protest space, which was the sidewalk. And they pointed me out and they arrested me. And my daughter, being the spitfire that she is, used her First Amendment rights to cuss them cold the fuck out.
Right. Yeah, she wasn't having it.
She was not.
As soon as they hemmed you up, it was like...
She went off. But to her defense, she was on the sidewalk. The sidewalk is a protected protest space. So if we go by the example of what happened in Michigan a couple weeks before, where you see all these guys that don't want to wear the mask and they're screaming and yelling in the National Guard's face, and they're not getting it. They got AR-15s. They're not getting arrested. That's their First Amendment. Cool. More power to you. Here's our First Amendment. Like, she's going to tell you how she feels about you just arresting her fucking tiny ass suburban mom for holding a sign. So she did. She called them fucking pigs. And it wasn't very nice. You never want to hear your kids saying that kind of stuff. You never want to see your kids getting that upset.
Yeah, in a situation like that, yeah.
Even worse than that, though, you never want to see a police officer reach across a protected protest space, grab your child, and slam them on the ground. And they fucking busted her nose. Her kneecap is still messed up. It's been over a month. They hurt her. She's 105 pounds.
Yeah, she's a tiny girl.
4 or 5 of them that manhandled her. And then the boyfriend, out of... just instinct, went to kind of try to pull her back a little. Yeah, like what's happening?
What the fuck? That's a little extreme.
Yes. And you see the video. They push him away, and then they pull him in and slam him down too. So it's like, fuck, man. So I'm like watching all of this in slow motion as it's happening. Like, fuck, this is not what I wanted. Like, this is not what we came here to do. We came here to show support to our brothers and sisters, like, in solidarity. We didn't come here to get arrested. We didn't come here to make a fucking big scene or whatever, But I honestly, like, I really didn't think that an officer of the law would be so petty, I guess, as to, try to make a point. Like, you don't like that I'm holding my sign and I'm not, like, following your direct order. I'm trying to cross the street, dude. Like, I'm not allowed to cross the street now, It was just a whole big stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, you guys changed the rules. I went to the bathroom and came back, and the rules are different now.
Right.
Had I known that you guys were going to set up these like imaginary lines in the street of the city that I literally reside in, I would have probably made a different choice. But
now, I'm not gonna act like I was completely 100% innocent. No, I did walk past them a couple times holding a sign. Like, are you guys going to let me finish crossing the street or no?
Right.
Like, and, so I didn't make it all the way across the street, and I kind of, call it an asshole move then. Okay, I'll fucking claim it then. Like, all right, I was being a little bit of an asshole, like a little mommy was being an asshole. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like
poking a little bit.
Yeah, but I wasn't I wasn't pointing at anybody. I wasn't being threatening. Literally, like, as peacefully as you can protest, I'm holding a fucking sign. And even my sign wasn't a bad sign. It just said, you know, we don't forgive, we don't forget. Like, hey, you know, this is what we're here for. We're not going to forget that, you know, these brothers in blue did this, and we want to draw attention to it or whatever. And, you know, in hindsight now, I look at it and I'm like, you guys kind of made our point for us. Like,
you're not helping what the whole protest is about.
You could have asked, you know, like, hey, can we walk you across the street then so you can catch up with your group? Or is there something that we can do to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to protect and serve. Like, we teach our kids to look up to you guys. And, like, you're going to point me out and arrest me because you don't like that I'm holding a sign and asking you why I can't cross a fucking street.
Right.
And then to slam my child on the ground. Like, I think even had they just arrested me and my kids would have been okay, I would have fucking chalked it up to, all right, you know, like, I was out of line.
Like, maybe you were pushing it, right?
Yeah, you know, whatever. But the fact that there's video of it, of them reaching across a protest space to snatch my baby up like that and to fucking so forcefully slam her down to make a, you know, an example out of her. I think as long as I live, like, I'll probably never get that image out of my mind's eye. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's...
And you know what it made me realize is that, you know, we were there using, and I say white privilege loosely because I'm Hispanic, but we were there using our white privilege, I guess, to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters. And more, it made me think that, like, I'm a mom, okay? And I just watched them do that to my little girl, my little white girl that's 105 pounds. And there's video cameras rolling. And they don't fucking care.
They don't,
What are they doing?
When nobody's watching.
Yeah, even when people are watching. Like, that's why we were there protesting. Like, you guys got to stop fucking doing this. Like, and, you know, I get if you want to make an example, but, like, you just made an example of what? Punking a fucking suburban mom and her kid? Like, now, that's not a hero type shit. Like, that's not, you know, I'm not a bad person. You know
there's no...
Like, I'm not an asshole. Like, you know, I'm an old punk rocker or whatever, but I'm a mom.
Right.
I live in the suburbs.
They could have handled it
way
in
smoother.
in a lot of different ways. Like, hey, okay, enough is enough. Like, you're making us look bad out here by... Like, we've asked you to do something and you're not doing it. If I can't get order out here, there's a lot of fucking people out here that are going to, like, feel like that they can do what you're doing, and we're going to be in a bad spot. Right. So I'm going to take you away. Right. Or how about this? Let's do the right thing and be like, hey, let me take you with your family so we can fucking just get this, or your friends so we can get this over with. Would have been the absolute right thing.
Talk to me.
But yeah, just say something, have a conversation.
I'm fucking human, just like you. Like, talk to me, bro. You know, like, we're, like, several times before that day in groups praying for some of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was groups that were praying for the police officers. And I was in one of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, so to be manhandled like that, like, what a fucking slap in the face, man. Like,
it's actions like those that end up provoking the more aggressive rioters, and then it turns into just a mob.
Exactly what happened.
Yep.
Like I said, we were one of the first groups to get arrested. They had us sitting in this bus for 3 hours while they were waiting for other people to arrest. And I'm telling you, like, yeah, the next night I saw the footage. Yeah, it got real fucking violent, but it wasn't that way at first at all. These police officers were absolutely inciting violence. And then there was a couple things, and it's so fucking crazy because I told my mom about this, and I said, you're going to think that I'm losing my mind because, you know, I read conspiracy theories. I said, but
tinfoil hat. I wear one too.
Yeah, there was this white boy, and he kept, like, running through the lines or whatever, and he's like, fuck the police, blah, 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 and, like, in their faces, fuck you guys, and then he would dip. And everybody around was like, dude, stop. That's
like,
just not cool or whatever. You're not
even with anybody.
But I'm like, like, how is he getting away with that? Well, okay, he's a white boy, whatever, you know. But I told my mom, I'm like, it almost felt like there was people there to provoke violence or to get people riled up or whatever. I said, I know it fucking sounds crazy, but that's how I feel. And lo and behold, a week later, we see that they had those, I'm not going to remember I
can't remember the term either. Like, as you're talking, I'm trying to think of the actual term they have for that.
I want to say it was, like, was it a boogaloo or something, which I've read more about. And I have no idea what all that is, but that was the term that they used to describe these guys that were inciting whatever. And
almost like the same like kind of coincidence that, I mean, I know they prove in some places like the pallets of bricks that just happen to show up downtown and stuff. I guess some of them had legitimate reasons to be there, but it's like along the same
the ones that are like Antifa.
Yes.
Just whoever wants to be like, hey, let's take this to another level, but they don't want to be like take the fall for it.
Right.
They want it to be like.
Right.
They just want to take a normal, regular person who's completely honest, went down there for a specific reason, and then like almost give them the idea to get them all fired up, or turn something that's easy into a more difficult thing and then dip out for whatever reason. Maybe that's like,
well, you've seen the video of the guy that they have proven was a police officer that busted out
that
all those
one's
windows.
Weird, where they're like, hey, I know you, and he was like, no, you don't. He's like, yeah, you're a fucking cop.
Yes. See, like,
I haven't seen that.
And that's just the one that we have on video.
Yeah,
we have proof of.
Right, that's it.
So I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of that going on. So back to kind of what I was saying is we were sitting on this bus for like hours waiting for them to take us to the station or whatever. It's hot as fuck. They couldn't.
You were in where? Like in a paddy wagon type, like a van or something?
We were in a big bus. They had this big, like, giant school bus that I think that they expected to fill up with all these protesters. Or whatever.
So they drove it there, like obviously. Is it police or like a prison bus?
It was a police bus. Okay. And it was ironically like right behind the street that they were walking. That they said that we were impeding.
It's gonna be a wild night, boys.
Yeah, the bus was right there. So we really couldn't have been blocking that street because the bus was already there. Like, so we weren't blocking shit. You know, it was just them trying to make a point, or you know what I'm saying. So we sit in this bus for hours, like literally hours. We were in there. They didn't tell us what our charges were. They wouldn't tell us. So we said, what are we being arrested for? We didn't find out until we got released that we got arrested for failure to disperse. But they wouldn't let anybody bail out. Basically that you wouldn't leave an open space. But what was happening later, and I'll get to that, is they weren't letting you disperse. So
right.
What happened, a few hours of us being on the bus, they get 2 more people that are in there. And those people were... aggravated. They admittedly, like, we're saying fuck the police and blah blah. And so they got picked up and they're proud of it. And like, hey, good on you.
That's not a reason to get picked up.
Not really.
You can't say fuck the police.
Not really.
Yeah, you got charged for failure to disperse.
Failure to disperse.
But you weren't. You didn't cause any potential to risk.
Nothing.
Which is why you would get charged for that.
Right. So we still have court coming up. We'll see what happens with that.
At least it's all on video.
Thank God. But because it's on video, I mean, we've gotten harassed. You know, we know people that work for Metro. We have friends and family. Like, we don't want to cause a bunch of bullshit, but it's kind of like, you guys, you know, you just beat the shit out of my kid. You know, and so like that's not right.
What are you gonna do on the inside to fix it? Like them, you're asking them, right? Like, if you're my friend, you're my family, you're in there, like, what can you do, like, seeing this as your friend, as your family member?
I'm not asking them, actually. They seen the video. They have to go to work with those guys, you know, like, they have to, you know, if I was in a gang, I'm not gonna fucking check my homies on whatever and get jumped out, you know, or whatever the fuck. If they're killing randos on the street, what else are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you've proven to be violent, you've proven to be without conscience, you know, like, what can you say to, you know, what can you say to somebody whose mind is that?
You would think the intelligent ones, the ones that did start off and then still have some sort of hope of being like a good cop, not necessarily a good person, because I'm sure, like, I don't know, maybe I imagine this, like, I have no fucking clue. Maybe they're the same fucking asshole at home as they are when they're in their uniform, but maybe like, you know, they're like actually decent people at home with their family, whatever, as citizens. But then they put their fucking uniform on, and then now it's this, like you said, a gang. It's literally like a fucking gang where they have like almost no rules. They make up the rules as they go, kind of thing, and
which is exactly what fucking happened. Because, like I said, they wouldn't tell us what we were being detained for. The other thing is, I knew I was going to get arrested because of how they were talking to me. So. I handed my brother-in-law, or my brother-in-law, my future son-in-law, my backpack, like, just in case, you know, like, it looks like they're gonna fucking do some shit. I hope not, but just in case, you know, here's my shit. Well, when they grabbed him, the backpack dropped. So while they're arresting me, they said, "Do you have your ID?" And I said, "No, it's in my backpack. It's right over there. Can you grab it?" And they said, "No,
we can't help you.
But if you don't have your ID, just so you know, that's another charge."
Fuck you as hard as possible.
Like, it's illegal not to have your ID. I'm like, but you guys see that my fucking backpack is right over there. Like, you can grab it. Like, it's please. You know, and I'm nice about it. Like, I mean, I'm saying it rude
want to comply.
Right now.
It's right there. I would love to help you out.
I'm like, I'm saying it rudely right now, but while I'm in cuffs, I'm like, can you please get my backpack? Can you please not hurt my daughter? Like, my ID is right over there. I'm completely complying. My hands are behind my back. I'm not fighting. I'm not resisting, whatever. They wouldn't, but they threatened me still. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is bullshit, but I kept my mouth shut. I told my daughter, like, don't say shit.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't say shit.
I can't watch you get your ass whooped some more.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. We'll deal with this later.
Right. So anyhow, they get the other 2 people apprehended, and we're in the bus for another hour. So by now it's getting to be dark, and they transfer us to now the small paddy wagon, which is a little van with a divider in between. And on one side is female, on the other side is male. And they drive behind Caesar's Palace. Now it's probably 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And they pick up a couple other people. One was very clearly drunk. She was very clearly agitating everybody. She basically told us, she was like, I told them, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. You're going to arrest my boyfriend. You're going to arrest me too. She was on one.
Yeah.
And
she was proud of it.
She was happy to,
That's your daughter?
No.
This is a rando.
No, my daughter had the cholo code. She shut up, man. But so I mean, I'm not gonna say like everybody there was innocent. Like people were getting riled up, but I do think that from my own experience, what I saw, the police were trying to rile everybody up, and they succeeded in that. And then they finally got enough people to arrest. But I'm gonna tell you, by the time they finally took us down to the station, there was maybe 20 of us. And I saw on the news later there was supposedly like 86 people arrested. Not yet.
Okay.
No. Later on in the night, they started arresting more. They had us going back and forth from booking. Oh, by the way, before they booked us, they had a little 14-year-old boy that they had arrested. He's sobbing hysterically, asking for his parents. You cannot arrest a 14-year-old. Like,
without parent or
No way, yeah.
Yeah. So we prayed for him, tried to calm him down a little bit. But man, he has a mom. Like your heart breaks, you know.
And he probably most likely doesn't have ID to prove that he's 14.
Yeah,
so they're like,
nothing.
Yeah.
Isn't
That's a
Nevada
bad.
law? You only really have to state your name.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
law
You don't really
everywhere
need-
unless you're
Yeah,
being.
you don't really need your ID. The law is to just. State
Well,
your
unless
name,
they're
Right.
like.
Unless they're booking you.
Yeah, for something, or
Right.
you're being questioned for some sort of crime or something, then they can ask you for that. But they just can't randomly ask for ID.
But
You're
yeah,
right.
even the crime that we're accused of is only it's a misdemeanor. It's not even like you shouldn't even have to. You know, it's like you get a ticket for that. You shouldn't have to go to jail.
Right, you shouldn't have
again,
been detained for
no.
any reason. Yeah.
But again, they're trying to
But
make
the
a
scenario,
point.
the situation,
They wanted
like-
to shut us up quick. And what
because it
happened
can get bad.
was,
Like you get people riled up, like
What-
Mel Gibson and Braveheart. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
fuck.
Well, I'm going to tell you, though, what happened is that them trying to shut everybody up the first night infuriated the rest of the people, I think. Yeah, I'm assuming, you know, that saw some of us get arrested, so they go out the next night on Fremont and fucking, God
Now
knows
it's
what
leveled.
the fuck they did. Yeah, like level 1,000. But
Because that was when the looting started in town. Because there wasn't really any looting the first night.
there was none. No, it was hella peaceful.
Yeah.
It was the police officers no, I don't drink, thank you. The police officers
I'll
agitating.
take one. I'm ready for another one. Sorry, go ahead.
Whatever. But again, the other thing that was scary as shit is that once we were in CCDC, how bad they treat you. Like, okay, I get it, you're a criminal. Like, you shouldn't, you know, shouldn't serve you anything on a silver plate. But like they purposely instigate, intimidate, and like, you know, they didn't let us sleep the whole time. They moved us from booking to a big cell to a small cell. They moved us every couple hours, and then we seen on the outside of the jail cell they have like a sign, like any federal place where they do cleanings or whatever, so you could see when's the last time the cell was cleaned. And one I think was in I want to say the beginning of April. The other one we were in was like
Wow.
January. It hadn't, and you
And
could
this
tell
is-
it hadn't been cleaned.
Yeah.
And this is in the
And
middle of
this is-
fucking COVID.
Right.
Like you're
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is like it was like almost
fucking
forgotten in this like little small week.
Right.
From
But we
Saturday to
didn't
Saturday,
forget.
it was
Like,
forgotten.
Let me tell you, there was in booking. There's a homeless lady. God bless her. Would not. They had masks on us, thank God. But the homeless lady refused to wear the mask. She's coughing all over the place. And I don't know if anybody else been to jail. This is my first time at CCDC, but I'm going to explain it to you. It's kind of
Okay.
like how you know, when you pay a traffic ticket or the DMV or whatever, they have the rows
Yeah.
of seats.
Okay.
There's several rows for whatever reason, they have us all packed into the first 2. They wouldn't let us sit in all the empty rows behind us.
So still no concern, no consideration.
Concern, right.
Okay.
No 6 feet.
None. I'm serious. Like, it's very scary. Like, and so we're like, hey.
Like, this chick's hacking up COVID on all of us.
Yeah, if she doesn't have COVID, she at least has croup or something. It's a very nasty, deep cough. So we're like, can you like scoot her to the side, or can we
help her? Maybe.
Well, they're not gonna help. Like we'd already asked for that. We were far past. I was pissing blood. They weren't helping me. Like I'm dead fucking serious. They wouldn't give me medical treatment because I refused to get a TB shot because I just had one in February, and I said you can pull up the Clark County records. I had it with the health district. I've just had a shot because I went to Mexico.
Like when they're
to get
booking
surgery.
you, they want to give you a TB shot?
Not right away. They waited several hours. I asked to see a nurse right away because I have my little necklace that says I have medical problems. And I said I have a UTI, I have a fever. Like I need some. I wasn't expecting to I was just expecting to go home and drink my cranberry juice or whatever. Yeah. I need to see a nurse.
Like I was planning on taking care of myself.
Yeah, I had a fever. Well, I was passing a kidney stone, and they could give 2 shits. And they said, you're not going to get medical treatment because you're not getting a TB shot. I'm like, okay, well, fuck it then. So when I was released, I had a fever of 104, which was horrible.
That's high.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. But back to COVID lady, they knew that she was sick, and they put us all in a very, very small cell with her. And there was no room. Like, we're all sitting closer than you and I are sitting. Like, pretty much on each other's laps in there. People are sitting on the floor, and we all try to stay away from that lady. But like, how sad for her, first of all, because like, we don't mean to be assholes, but like, this shit it sounds scary what you're coughing up right now, even if it's not COVID. Yeah. I don't want whatever you have, and it's you're not taking care of her, you're not taking care of us. It was wrong, dude. Like, really wrong. And so they kept us in there with her. They finally released us. I'm sick as shit. Not with COVID, just with a kidney stone. But the whole thing, like, it was just like the if you try to use the bathroom or whatever, like if you raise your hand to use the bathroom, they don't want to let you go. Or like I said, like I have a fever, like I need to drink water, and they're like, okay, well you can drink the water that's in the bathroom when you're allowed to go. And that water tastes like fucking toilet water. It's attached, like the fountain is attached to the sink is attached
Tap
to the
water,
toilet.
yeah, it's potable water. That's
dude,
what you get.
It's that alone, man. I almost became a nun. Like, lying, not even close. But
you
no.
could never,
no,
you would try, you would burn.
Be a nun. Yeah, no, no. But yeah, it was pretty terrible. Like the whole fucking experience, and it kind of more made me real, like, kind of double down even more on, like, I was kind of, I don't want to say on the fence about this. Like, I'm not like some fucking social justice warrior or whatever, but I like to stand up for what's right and do the right thing. Like, I have decent parents, I've tried to raise decent kids. But when all that shit went down, like, and I had some time to think about it, I'm like, it's even kind of more important now that we speak up. Like, it's more important, especially if you're not a person of color, to speak up. Because, like, if they're willing to do this to us, what else are they doing and getting away with? Mm-hmm. So, like, you've seen my Facebook. I'm pretty adamant about it now. Like, yeah. It really fired me up. And I have to wonder, like, what the other people's stories are. Like, what, if they're as wound up as I am about it now. Because
there's a lot of people wound up,
very
for
wound
sure.
Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very wound up.
Yeah.
Chaz.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. So was your daughter in there with you?
Yeah.
Like in the paddy wag?
Yeah.
Like, so
yeah.
was she okay? Like, did they
no,
like
she
her
was
nose got busted up?
Like,
Like, did they?
She was a mess. They took her glasses. So, I don't know. I have contacts right now. If you guys are familiar with having astigmatism, if you don't have your glasses, like, it's a fucking instant headache. Like,
okay.
It's like,
it's really bad.
It hurts, man. Like, so they wouldn't give her glasses. Her nose is busted. She's covered in bruises. Her knee is still swollen. And like I said, this was May 30th, the 31st when this went down.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't know the dates.
Her knee is still fucked up. Like, she went to the doctor. Yeah, there's like, it's a kneecap. They can't really do anything. Just got to wait for it to.
So did you guys lawyer up? Like, I know you have court dates coming up,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's like more of the legal side, but is there like
we did,
something
we
you guys
got,
are moving forward with
we have a lawyer that was willing to represent us pro bono.
Okay.
Local guy, very cool, friend of a friend.
Okay.
He basically told us, don't worry about it. They're probably going to dismiss everything. But I asked him, do you think that we should try to pursue criminal charges? Because what they did to my daughter was, that's a violation of her First Amendment. And, it's a whole nother thing. We're almost...
Like, obviously, I don't want you to compromise your case or anything in the future right there. Like,
it's out there,
whatever you can say, yeah.
But they have us almost afraid to follow up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're afraid. My daughter was living in Pahrump. She just moved out here because as soon as she went home after we got released from jail, she's got police officers in front of her house all the time in Pahrump. For what? We don't know. It's just
that wasn't a thing before, but now you get released, and then she's there.
And she's there, like, on her. Yeah, so she just moved back here, but we almost feel like intimidated, like they're trying to intimidate. And because we have friends and family that are police officers, like, we don't... Like, it's not so much that we want to protect them, but we don't want to cause any further shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear that. I can see that. Yeah. But why? Like, they should be right there in it with you. Like, they should be.
For one, they need to do a better job at, I'm not saying that they're it, but like maybe helping from the inside of that mentality. Whatever the mentality is that allows grown fucking men to be able to slam a 105-year-old young girl on the asphalt. Right. Like, that's a weird
hot asphalt
fucking thing. Yeah, that's a weird thing that allows a grown man to do that. Like,
several grown men.
And that seems to be like a common theme across the states, like to have a guy like nonchalantly with, like, as if he was sitting there watching a movie, sit with his knee on a dude's neck for almost 9 minutes. Like, that's a weird fucking thing that
why is that okay?
Why is that okay? So I feel like if it were, like, obviously I wasn't in it. I didn't feel the fear. I don't have people parked out in front of my house. But if we're like willing to go to those lengths to intimidate you, it's because they're fucked. So maybe like it's, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be terrible. Like, what at the end of the day, I don't know what they could do or what they couldn't do.
They could kill you.
I guess it's
like the reason why we were out there protesting is because they killed somebody on video.
Right. But are they gonna like send like someone? I guess I don't fucking know. This shit's so
it's weird.
Dude.
Like,
it is so weird.
You don't think about it until it happens to you, and then like. I've never in my life been afraid of police officers. Like, I'm no good girl. I had been arrested once before. As you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I got a lot of sober time, but I got arrested drinking a long time ago, and I had a bad experience then too. But what that made me do is turn my life around. What that made me do is follow a sober, straight and narrow path, and I walk it like I talk it, and I do follow rules, and I do I try to be a good citizen and a good, a good example for my kids. And, I have a lot of friends that are still in the struggle, so I try to like live my life in a way that, not like I'm all high and might inspire anybody, but like, look,
just do what you can, like your part.
You've seen how bad I was. You've seen how I'm holding it together now.
I've never seen you like bad, like you say that, but I've never, I've always seen you as this awesome. You've known me since I've been
sober. Like, I was a fucking piece of shit. I still wasn't getting in trouble with the law all the time. Just the one time. That's all it took for me.
We all make mistakes. It's okay.
It's whether or not we learn from them. But this mistake that happened, it has really changed my perspective on a lot of things, and it's made me more fearful, more paranoid, more, frustrated. Very frustrated. Like that.
Stuck.
You're stuck. Yeah. And it's 2020. Like, how we cannot speak on things without feeling threatened. Like, what a fucking horrible feeling that is.
That's the scary thing.
It's very scary, and to know, like, somebody, like, we found the video that you saw, we found it after somebody had recognized and tagged us, but it had already been going over Twitter and whatever, and like, we were already getting, people already found who we were that we didn't know threatening us. Like,
what?
Man. Yeah. So
what do you mean? Like, how? In what way? Like, over social media, like through DMs and stuff like that?
Yes, yeah. Like, well, that's what you get and blah, blah, blah. And, let me see you on my street and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
See you on my street? Doing what? Holding a fucking sign?
Right. Right.
You're gonna beat my ass too, like worse, or you're gonna do the same thing that this fucking cop did because I held a sign on my street in my city, in my fucking city I pay taxes in.
Right, and that's some of the mentality right now. It's like so fucking divisive. Like even, you know, very good friends, people that have watched Tatum grow up and know that she's a good kid, the shit that they have said to her now. Like, how fucking dare you?
That's crazy because they don't know these fuckers from anything, but because they wear, they have a badge.
They're better than we are. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, fuck, it's a whole, like, what a fucking mess. Like, you know?
Fuck. It is, it's shitty. And like, I don't think every cop is a bad cop.
Neither
but
do I.
There's bad fucking cops in there. And that's
Very
the shitty
bad.
thing is if you're fucking wearing the same uniform, if you're on the same team, like it sucks, but like that's the team you're on.
Yeah.
And
like I was always raised, like, if you see something wrong, you know, you like, call it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let somebody keep doing something that's wrong. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like we're calling it out because it needs to be called out. It's wrong. Like, you shouldn't be able to kill somebody on video and or kill people over and over. Like, this is a systematic thing that's happening, you know, and we're calling it out, and you're shutting us up through intimidation and through scare tactics and everything. It's like, it's kind of like you're almost afraid to keep calling it out, but then if you don't, how much worse is it going to get? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, next?
Can I ask you this? Like, what do you think? I don't know. Not the solution. Do you think we need police, or do you think that we're like defund the police type of, like, we don't need police, we'll figure it out,
you know,
kind of thing?
I'm on the fence about that. I do think we need police. I do think that they provide a valuable resource. There are times when you need a police officer. Like, I'm also very pro Second Amendment. You know, we protect our house, but yeah, you need a, you know. But I do think if I'm understanding the things that I've read correctly, and again, I'm not, you know, super genius or anything, but I think defund is the improper word. I think, as I understand it, what they're trying to do is allocate more resources to, like, mental health and, you know, rehabilitation and things like that. And I think
like in the department.
Within the department,
okay.
Yeah. So like maybe a social worker could be called for something. Why do we need a police officer with his hand on his gun for a fucking traffic stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not always necessary. So I think that there's a happy medium to be found. How we get there, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I've
heard some pretty good ideas to get there. One of them, obviously, we need more training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just training in person, for one, the vetting process, like finding the right personalities to do that job. Because for someone to be able to, like, for us, living our day-to-day normal lives, like, we hear of these incidents and just like really terrible fucking things through our news feed, whether it's social media, you know, listening to the radio, television, we hear it. But these guys, on a regular basis, every day they punch the clock. They live it every day. So they have to find superhuman people that can do that. And it can't be like this. You can't put a billboard up on Las Vegas Boulevard and say, hey, come check out this great career. Like, that's not how we find people that fucking take care of that type of situation. Like, if you want security officers to help, like, I don't know, make sure the doors are locked on a mall, cool, put a billboard up. But if you want someone that fucking is literally, like, these guys change how, they have an effect of how each community, like, can feel. Just have a good, like, how it works, how it moves, how it feels in general. And so, the vetting process, they got to find, like, badass dudes and women that can fucking handle that shit. That
de-escalate.
Can handle
That's the biggest thing, is being able to de-escalate situations. Like, and I mean, I think most of us, like, I would like to think before that I was more on the pacifist side of things. Like, I will always talk something out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if de-escalation is not even an option, though, where do we go from there? Somebody made a good point, too, that it takes a lawyer, 7 years to become a lawyer, but it takes a police officer 6 months to learn the laws he's supposed to uphold. Like, yeah, man, something's wrong with that, man. Like,
so, I'll just butt in here for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was 20 years old. I went through the police academy back in Napa. It was at a Napa Junior College. They teach you to become a police officer in 8 weeks. 8 weeks full time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
I was 20. I didn't graduate. I actually ended up failing out week 6.5. I had a week and a half to go, and I could have been a police officer. Well, if I got hired at a station, I could have been a police officer. I was not in the right mindset to be...
Damn.
To have a gun on my hip and try to protect the peace and the citizens of the whatever city I was hired at.
Dude, that's
as a 20-year-old kid.
It is harder to become a school teacher than it is to be an officer.
It's
to
harder.
hold a weapon.
Oh man.
And so like in the academy they teach you from day one to prepare for the worst. And they will put all this fear, and they put so much fear in our heads when we're in class. It was more stressful than anything because they would show us videos of, like you were talking about,
worst case scenario for your end.
Easy, yes, to fear us into being not necessarily more aggressive, but to always
reactive. Have
your hand on that gun and to be ready.
And probably to desensitize you to the types of things that you'll see.
Yes, we've seen common. It was just a normal traffic stop. A minivan pulled over. It's a dad and his, I think, I don't know for sure, but like a 14-year-old son who's a teenager. Officer came up to the passenger side because it's the safer side on the freeway. Talked to the guy, got their IDs. I believe got their IDs, maybe not. Talked to him. He turns around, starts walking to his police car. The kid hops out with an automatic rifle and shoots officer down. They drive away. A 14-year-old kid.
And this is how they're training you to be prepared
be prepared for that, no matter how calm or how non-aggressive they are, to be ready for it. And it does happen. It's not very common, but and so some of these officers are graduating young, early 20s, most of them probably.
Afraid to be a statistic.
They're afraid.
Yeah.
So when someone comes off aggressive, maybe such as your daughter, just yelling at him, screaming, which she never threatened him, but verbally, this officer was probably like, man, what if she attacks me? Like, I better just take her down now, which is not the right way to go about things.
Right.
Their training does need to be more extensive. It should, I don't know a number, but it shouldn't be so easy. Nobody should just be able to walk away and be an officer with a gun on their hip in 8 weeks.
Right.
What did they do
before they're even old enough to drink?
That part.
Yeah.
You're not old enough to drink, but hey, you could carry this gun and patrol the streets.
Yeah, and you can have how the community is going to work, like held in your hands. Like, you're almost responsible for how people react in the streets to police officers.
It's not easy. Like I even failed at the academy and then went through a hiring process with a sheriff department, went on some ride-alongs, and then eventually I came to the decision, like, this is not for me. Like, this is way too much responsibility, way too much stress. I'm a very passive person. I won't even argue with somebody. I'll just leave.
Yeah.
I don't even like to argue.
Yeah, I've never known you. I've known you for a long time.
I just walk away. I'm like, I don't got time for
I'm
this.
the same.
Yeah.
But when I do argue or when I do have a point to make, I think it through. It like, okay, if this is where I'm drawing my line in the sand, I'm gonna make sure that my argument stands up, and that's what led me to get arrested. Yeah, because I'm like, what you're saying right now is arbitrary, stupid. Like you're trying to instigate something. And I'm giving you a chance not to do that, but you did it anyways. So I'm kind of like,
correct.
You proved my point for me. But kind of what you said with the traffic stop, though, so I take back what I said earlier. Man, like, okay, I can see sometimes why, you need to have a weapon on you at all times. Like, I do see that, okay? But like you said, that's not the norm, and what a tragic thing to have happened, On the flip side of that, though, like, that's what you sign up for. Like, you wear that badge every day with your bulletproof vest and all that. Like, that this is a dangerous line of work, and like, I mean, good on you for recognizing, like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. I wonder, how many
it's almost like that's struggle. The mentality that needs to be in there.
That's
is like someone who can see, hey, this is fucked up. Like,
and how many people struggle with that, but their pride or whatever else, or the family pressure or whatever got in the way of them making a decision where they are putting themselves and other people in harm's way because they didn't have your foresight.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends and family in the law enforcement. It's definitely a whole. You have to have a whole other mentality to do it because they are in danger for every day, even days they're not working. I've seen situations cops are on their way home on their day off, and somebody like an ex-con that he probably arrested, found out where he lived, and attacked him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awful.
Shitty. Yeah, that's
And
a
it's-
shitty situation.
So like they just like there needs to be their like psychiatric test, something like
Absolutely.
you gotta be able to be in full control of your mindset, your actions, everything. My uncle was an officer, and he eventually got to the point he's like, I don't think I could do this no more because I'm gonna hurt somebody, and it's probably not gonna be right. It's like he's
On
like
edge
anger,
type of thing.
yeah, being on edge, being angry, being stressed out, being afraid that like just always being afraid that someone's gonna attack you first and get the upper hand. Like it's like a
terrifying.
whole So it's
terrifying. And again, that's probably why for my whole entire life I've like had such a strong respect for like I couldn't do that. There's no fucking way in hell I could do that job. You know, like I just thinking about one day the things that you might see if I see anything happen to a kid, like I'm done. Like I will lose it. You know what I'm like? That's
yeah.
And they see that often.
That shit every
they
single
gotta
day,
show up, right?
every day, man. Like I could never do that. But you're absolutely right. Like you have to have a strong mental fortitude to like be able to, you know, this is work mode and this is life mode and whatever. And even in work mode, like not get into such a violent and hateful mentality because you've seen so much. You know, I kind of feel like a lot of it right now is like these guys that were probably picked on in high school, or you know, and now, and I could be completely off base, but this is my opinion. What I think is happening sometimes is that these guys were always bullied, and now they get to be the bully. And you know what happens when the roles are reversed? People fucking they get violent and they get mean, and you know it's no different from any other psychopath. These guys just have a badge, you know.
What they gotta realize though, like how they fear everybody possibly attacking them. They need to realize tables are turned now, and it's even the citizens that are afraid of every police contact that the police officer is going to attack them.
Over just a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, it could go either way, and I think they need to kind of understand that the citizens are just afraid of them as they are afraid of the citizen.
Right. I don't know what the solution is for that. I wish I had it. I wish I had like, you know, a magic Band-Aid to fix all this. I don't. But what I do know is that the longer that we stay silent about it and don't use our voices to speak up, the worse it's going to get. And it feels like it's getting worse, you know, every day. And I don't know what the solution is. I just know what I can do as a person. And as me as a person, I could bring attention to it and use my voice and use my words and use my, you know, thoughts and kind heart to say like, hey, you know, this isn't normally how I feel about things, but if I'm saying it, there's a reason why. You know, like I was not like a, you know, what's the word? Like you're
not trying to be a martyr. You're not trying to like go.
Thank you. Yeah, nothing like that. But on the same token, like shit, like if this could happen to me, it could happen to anybody, and that's a very fucking scary thought. It could happen to your wife or anybody. Like you know. Now again, mind you, I'm not going to say my daughter was completely 100% innocent, or that I was. But fuck, man, if you can treat us like that for holding a sign, like what are you doing if somebody gets snotty with you on a traffic stop, or what are you doing if you get called for domestic violence and you got the wrong side of it or whatever because you come in with pre-biases or whatever. It's just very.
Oh yeah, you got in an argument with your wife the night before and you're feeling a certain type of way or whatever. You gotta. Yeah, every day is different in every situation, every person, every scenario is not going to be the same from one person to the next. Like one person could be the best person for the job leading up to 2-3 years, and then something happens along the way. Like we got to constantly like stay up on
mental health checks.
Yeah, checks. We got to check on
as the beer bottle shots in the camera. Maybe they're not drinking on the job.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm not. I have nothing to do with the public. I have nothing to do with making sure anybody's safe.
I know.
But for real, like they need it needs to be a regular thing.
Yeah.
Training. Like they do all their training up front, and then it's up to them to get the training they want. Like there's no like annual like, hey, you're gonna sit out for 2 months and you're gonna go through this fucking course.
Isn't
like
that
this
wild?
that doesn't exist. Once you get in, you're in, and then you don't even have to meet the same criteria that was the standard when you got in. Like as far as physique. As far as like the mental, so like all that shit
going
needs
on
to
donut run right now.
right, but it fucking happens. Like obviously, like that varies from department to city and stuff like that. Like some cities are, more, they hold them to a different standard. But there's a lot of departments out there where that's not. They just, once you're in because they need the people out there. They need the numbers, and like nobody wants, like who the fuck really at the end of the day wants to sign up for that job? Like it's not like anybody's getting rich off of it. Anybody can make a huge, a great living off of it, anything. So they got to find a particular type of people that feel like either A, like they have this really strong pull to like want to help their community out.
Lawfully good.
Or
if you play D&D.
Right. Or B, they just want this kind of, they want this job where they can tell people what the fuck to do because they have this like power issue, And there's like obviously in the middle, there's people in the middle of that, but like I feel like that's pretty much the two type of people that you're gonna get in law enforcement.
I feel like that too, and it's unfortunate.
That's what they need to learn how to filter out is the power hungry people, which there's a lot of them. I mean,
in every profession, but in some professions, they need to not have so many of those,
Correct.
You go be a power-hungry McDonald's guy.
Yeah. To me, law enforcement is less power. It's more communication skills, and they do try to teach you that. There's a lot of how to intervene with the public in a proper manner, not to be too aggressive, but there's obviously not enough. That should be the major.
Training.
That should be your majors. How to communicate.
Right.
Proper communication. That's that pretty much.
Right. And you don't know what people are going through. Like, I think about all these calls where, like, somebody called because they're threatening suicide or whatever and then end up getting shot by the police. Like, okay, well, thanks for that. Like, that's exact opposite of what we needed. Like, can you, they need to be able to de-escalate. Like, the loss of life, there's never an excuse for that, ever. And I don't care how bad you were. Like, a police officer should never be judge, jury, and executioner. Like that's why we have a court of law. That's why we have due process. And I think that's really what's pissing a lot of people off too, rightfully so. Like, it really bothers me a lot to see like, after the police have killed one more person that they bring up all their criminal past. Like
that's too late.
Yeah. I should fucking hope you don't bring up all the shitty things I did when I 10, 15 years
for him.
ago.
I thought you meant for the officers because that's fucked up too.
Yeah, that too. No, I'm in general. Like, now we're seeing all this bad stuff about George Floyd or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
not
matter
relative.
how. Yeah, it doesn't.
At that moment, and it's definitely not up to the fucking cop to make it one way or the other. His job is to handle the situation that is at hand, and at that moment, he was intoxicated and he had counterfeit money. That was like what was at hand, and none of that fucking had anything to do with should have.
They charge him for counterfeit money. Let him go to jail. Let him go to court. Like,
and then the judge and then the city, all of them, prosecutor, they decide if everything that he's done in his past, however that works. I don't know. There's 3 strikes law, all that stuff. Like they take all that into account, but it's definitely not up to the guy that is there on the scene, like to arrest him for that particular crime.
And the media, like it's really shitty that the media is like changing people's perspective on things. Like instead of being rightfully upset like you should be when somebody dies on video, they drag up all their past or to vilify. Like how dare you vilify a dead person? Like how dare you? I'm sure you've done some shitty things in your life too. Is that what you want people to remember at your funeral? All the shitty things you did, like you pooped in somebody's backyard one time when you were drunk. Like, please don't bring that up at my funeral.
Don't tell anyone.
What drug up on him was way worse than obviously the guy. He didn't have a squeaky clean past, and the guy, in my opinion, he wasn't a fucking good, upstanding citizen. In my opinion, anyway.
Put him in jail then.
But that's my point. It's like it wasn't up to that officer to decide what the fuck needs to be done with him and how to handle that situation. Exactly. Like regardless, like that's up to the people that we appoint, the judge, for them to decide that if he's not a fucking guy that needs to be on the street anymore.
Right.
Out in public.
And that's why people are outraged, and that's why this thing is so. There's so much vitriol on both sides because you have some people that are like, well, like I told you earlier, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Like, no, that's not. That's the opposite of what a court of law is supposed to do.
That's not how the process works.
That's not. And how lucky for you that you've never been in a situation like that. Like, especially, and I hate to bring the race thing into it, but like especially to my white friends, like. how dare you? How dare you tell somebody, like a person of color in particular, like, well, maybe if you were compliant, or maybe no, man, this officer came in with a bias. Like there was nothing that could have been done that would have been the right. Like what was going to happen because we have some corrupt officers. Like you need to recognize that. The sooner you recognize that and we fix that, the sooner all of this, and then you can come at me with your little speaking points or whatever. But until then, I don't want to fucking hear it at all. Sorry, I get all worked up.
No, it's all good.
That's why you're on here.
Yeah.
I get real worked up.
No, yeah. I was like, it'd make fun to talk to on here. Kristi, she gets all fired up.
I do.
And I love it. I love the conviction. I love like the passion.
Thank you.
Is there any way we could like pull up this video and watch it?
Yeah.
I have not seen
You have it, don't you? Okay, I was like, he's turning around his phone.
trying to find it. He doesn't have your
the
Facebook.
The whole time I was like, because he asked me, do I have it? I was like, Angie has your stuff set on private.
I might have it. Hold on.
Yeah.
And then I asked Angie,
it's not very
goes,
nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not anything you want to see again.
I don't like.
You don't have to. It's completely up to you.
Well, I mean,
we're here.
We're grown-ups. We're having a conversation.
Right.
Don't be looking through the rest of my photos. I got naked ladies on here. It's way back here. I work with.
That could be another
stars.
podcast.
Yeah.
Your career. That'd be a fun one to do.
You know what they call me, Dirty Kristi.
Yeah,
I earned that name rightfully.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
I spent like 5 minutes trying to find you.
My daughter with her mouth. And here you see them. She's on the sidewalk, and they reach over. You see the fat one with the baton on my son-in-law.
Oh, damn.
That's a lot of grown-ass fucking men.
I don't see anybody aggressive except for the officers.
Exactly.
There's a lot of yelling, screaming going on, but like, for good reason at this point.
Yeah.
Like these fucking grown-ass men manhandling some women like this.
They're asking like, why are you doing that? Like, stop. And you could hear the people in the background like saying, "We're on the sidewalk. We're all, I wasn't. I was
there
2
you go.
feet. Yeah, I was 2 feet from the sidewalk.
Bye.
But look at Tatum. I mean, they really fucked her up. Somebody took a still picture of this. Who is that? Oh, sorry. Somebody took a really nice photograph of my daughter on her face with the police officers on her, and I would blow that bitch up and frame it. Like, I told her, I said, I'm really fucking sorry that you have a criminal record now. I'm sorry to your boyfriend's parents that he, moves out here from Mississippi and is here for a couple months and gets arrested with his girlfriend and her mom. I'm really sorry that, we have a criminal record now, but you're on the right side of history right now. And I'm proud of you for that,
Yeah.
And we got extra piece of cake when we finally got fed because we were mom and daughter, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
We got our jail props.
Nice.
Everybody was like, "Oh, I wish I could get arrested with my mom." Like, no, you don't. Like,
so after this, have you done any prior, sit downs, interviews, talked with anybody about this, like in this kind of setting?
No, not at all. No. Not at all. You pop my police cherry.
Nice.
Police discussion cherry.
I'm sure you've told the story a million times though, because I know you.
I mean, I had to, talk to friends and family. It's really surprising to me. My family's very Christian and conservative. Hunters and guns, very, a lot of them super Republican. And I was really surprised to see who has stood with us, especially on the right side of things, and who, people that I have known my whole entire life turn our backs. Like they're just, we're done. We have nothing else to talk about it. So, I mean, but I'm okay with that. Like, if shit goes down, I don't want you.
Right. That's the shitty thing. The shitty thing is you've put this time and energy into this person, and then when it really fucking came down to it, like it took, like someone's worst moment or a bad moment for them, I don't know, to not be there for you. Yeah. And it's just the amount of energy that you put into it, into that relationship, for them to turn their back on you so easily is the fucking shitty part about it.
Good riddance, though.
Yeah. And then,
good riddance.
But it's also like at the same time, it's like, now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know. And then the people that are there with you, you'll never have to question, right? And then the people that aren't there with you is like, you don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder when when they're around.
Right.
So
or like if the zombie apocalypse comes,
you know who you can go to, and also don't come knocking on my fucking door knowing that I got shit in my cupboards, motherfucker.
I've been prepared for this.
Fuck you.
Yeah. It's cool. Like I mean, it's been cool, and Tatum and I have been able to use a lot of this as like learning. A lot of people, if it doesn't affect you, especially your white friends or whatever, it doesn't affect you, you don't think about it, but we've been able to bring attention to this cause. And so it's been cool. It's been cool to see people like come around and say, oh, I never thought about it that way before, but I kind of see it now. And, and everybody's kind of drawing their line in the sand. And I mean,
this was probably, it's not the first time, but it's my first time experience to see that everybody come together on it. Like, it's not just like Ferguson. It was like more of the black community that was all protesting and in there. But this one, it was like, no, fuck you. Like, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit. You can't paint a picture. There's no picture, no fucking story you can say, no way you could backtalk it to justify what the fuck happened there. And it's like, not that, unfortunately, like, it came to someone losing their life over it, but it's like, fuck now. If that can happen again, like, holy fuck, like, we're in a world of hurt, like everybody is. Like, it's going to be fucking bad, because not only for the people who are protesting and there for the right reason and everybody gathered up for the right reason, but everybody else too, like the people you said that were in the crowd that were there for, like, obviously no good reason, just to get riled up and get shit going, get shit violent. And then the other people that are there, like, hey, while the cops are all fucking with them, like, we're going to take this opportunity to go do our thing over here. And that's when businesses get broken into and shit gets lit up on fire and stuff. And it's not all for that cause. Like, George Floyd's brother, like, poor guy, he's like, what the fuck are we doing? He's losing his mind. He's like, this isn't what he was about. Like, he wouldn't want any of this at all.
Right.
And the guy's like, probably, I would say, like, a good majority of those people that were smashing windows and going in there and stuff, like, they probably didn't even really understand what the fuck was going on anyway. They were like, whoa, what are we doing? Like, it's a fucking parade or something. And then, like, hey, I saw the dude smash a window and the cops are over there. They don't give a fuck. They're shooting tear gas cans at people's faces and blowing out their eyeballs. We're going to go steal some Jordans. Yeah. Like, that's, and then that's the shitty part, that, like, that happened. And you have some people, they don't see the protest for what it was. They see it for, like, they only see people going into they only see people going into the stores and burning shit down. They don't see, like, what the fuck the point was. And so they're like, like, it's just the shitty part. That's the people that we got to get through to. That's the people that, like, everybody's got to, like, figure out a way to be like, that's not how the whole thing started. Like, and if you can't see,
what's even worse is the media focuses on the chaos side of it.
That's what I was just about to say. You don't see
any footage of all the peaceful protests, unless if it's from somebody's phone recorded and put on social media. Which a lot of them were even, like, deleted. Against the Facebook rules.
Oh, man.
Take this down.
Yeah, you're not allowed to share it.
Just got my account back today.
Did you? You got a Facebook jail?
All 3 of them have been in jail.
Because they seen you arrested on
Facebook. Facebook thug, bitch.
Yeah, get rid of this.
That's awesome.
And my Facebook used to be so fucking funny all the time. Like, it just posted for random funny. Now I'm like, nah, fuck this. Like,
you're getting serious.
We're bringing attention to this today.
Yeah, you're getting serious now.
All of you guys are here to laugh and chuckle with me now. Your girl got arrested. We're gonna stand up and do the right thing now.
Right. No, that's cool. That's cool.
Try to use my voice for good most of the time. Sometimes I fucking go off the rails, but human.
Yeah, for sure. It's allowed. It's allowed. That's good.
So that was that.
You got anything, Sala?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about all this stuff.
Okay.
So, like, I wasn't going to say nothing because I really don't have anything.
No insight.
I don't want to say anything wrong or nothing because I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speak
about what's going on. Yeah. So, like, I'm just listening and kind of hearing your perspective.
Playing producer today.
Yeah. Like, kind of just, like, soaking it all in because I don't really know anything from anybody's perspective, not even my own.
Hey.
So, like, I don't want to speak on anything I don't know about.
Never had any good or bad interactions
with the cops?
Yeah, police experiences.
Just in general.
They were all bad, but that was our fault.
Yeah.
Well,
because you're from Long Beach.
From Long Beach.
Yeah. Do you know what I think? I think that makes your perspective even more valuable, though, because if you can say, like, I think where sometimes a message gets lost is if people say, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was, you did. Like, you did.
Yeah.
And so, okay, speak on it. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I I was 2 feet from the sidewalk. I was disobeying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm guilty of. Okay,
Yeah.
like, and I told you, I got arrested. I was fucking drunk as shit. Like,
Yeah.
fighting the police. Again, not in my right mind. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would never. But I think if you are able to admit, like, yeah, I was in the wrong, but here's what happened. It puts even more weight to your words. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
It means
speak
more.
on that
Yeah,
shit.
somebody can listen to it. It's hard to hear somebody say, "I didn't fucking do nothing," when as they're telling you, you're like, "But you just said all the shit you did fucking stupid and wrong to get you there, but you not recognizing it."
Yeah.
But for you to be able to say like, "This is what got me to this situation," but their reaction wasn't called for.
No.
It wasn't
No.
the same. It wasn't matched. It was like from what you did
Not
was like
by
a
a
level
long
2,
shot.
and they went to a level 11.
Then, by the way, since I brought up the video, hold on. Tatum's asking me something. Hang on.
But yeah, that was.
Let me show you just so that you have a reference. When I was talking about the aerial picture, so you can see how many police officers were there, and you see the 3 little dots that are us holding our signs.
Is there a drone photo or is this from
It's a
surveillance?
drone photo. And also there was a drone footage. You see a lot of naked ladies on there. But there's
Hell
the
yeah.
drone
Wait,
footage.
no,
I'm
the
kind of wishing we had
protest?
the big,
No.
Oh, on
the
your
big
phone.
screen
Just-
behind us
yeah,
already. I
yeah.
need to get that hung up.
Experiment right
Just,
now.
yeah.
I remember when my phone used to look like that.
Look at how I'm just going and going and going. There's so many fucking naked ladies.
I'm married
You're
now.
2 days in marriage, Fish. Shut the fuck up.
I was young then.
Hey, did you know Fish just got married?
Yeah, you did.
Hey!
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Vegas style.
Vegas style
Through the drive-through, right?
That's badass.
Yeah, they have the option to drive through, but we went inside.
Was it Elvis?
No Elvis wedding. No.
And then after he got like a shitty tattoo of a taco.
You got? Why is it shitty? You got a
it-
shitty tattoo?
Because
do it
the
on
lettuce
Tuesday?
looks like it's wilted,
Oh,
Dude.
and it looks like a burnt taco shell.
Let it heal up.
You put some hairs
Oh
on it.
my
you get to
God.
say it's
And
a
the-
pussy
and the
tattoo.
guy-
Yeah, there you go.
So the guy that did mine
Uh-huh.
took half as long as the guy that did my wife's, Natalie's.
Oh no. He was like, "You're slow, bitch." You're like, "What? You
I
fucking
started
give me
like
chicken
10
scratch."
minutes after hers, and I finished like 15 minutes quicker.
Oh.
What?
And
That's
the whole
no good.
time, his like he was a burnout for sure.
Oh yeah, he had the fucking jaw going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's us holding our sides. You see
So
how
that's
many...
the 3 signs that I see over here against that whole line that goes
Yeah.
across from one sidewalk to the other sidewalk.
We're threatening to
That's
the-
Las Vegas Boulevard. That looks
That's
narrow.
Spring Mountain and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Okay.
So
That's a
they're-
good amount of fucking cops though, and for
Yeah.
you, it was only you 3 at that
was just
moment when you
us.
got fucking hemmed up. Where was the like crowd that you hear yelling? Like how far back from
They
that
were
photo
on the
were you?
sidewalk, so you can't see them. But
The sidewalk
they're
is, like, off
they're
to your
right
left?
here. To the right of here. So they're
Okay.
back here.
Okay.
So this is when they were saying we couldn't cross the street to catch up to the rest of the group over here.
So why were they holding like a line that way? Like
They're
like from
impeding
sidewalk to
traffic.
sidewalk,
This is- and
but
this
they
is the
can't tell
thing.
you. But they told you not to walk like
Not to walk
from
across.
sidewalk to sidewalk.
Yes, and
So if you would have went like 40 yards away from them and then walked across the street, like would that have happened or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And what thank you for reminding me. What I was mentioning earlier is when we started to see the police showing up, they started doing this on every street, and then they would tell everybody you have to disperse, but they would circle you. So you couldn't walk
you couldn't go anywhere?
past them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If you walk past them, then you're a threat to them or whatever.
they were hurting you
They
in
were
a direction.
hurting us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were hurting everybody. So everybody that got a failure to disperse, like we couldn't disperse. Like we could, we were just us 3, but the crowds that were arrested later on that night were like, dude, they surrounded us and there was nowhere to go. And you can see there's video on Facebook and Twitter later on this same night where you can see the people are on sidewalks and they were coming up. I don't know if it was Spring Mountain or one of the side streets. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but you can hear the police saying get on the sidewalks, and you can see people on the sidewalks and they're backing up going towards was it Tropicana? Yeah, going towards
Going south.
On the other side. And they're still like macing, and they're still grabbing people to arrest them or whatever. It's like, well, what do you want us to do? Like you just told everybody to disperse, so they're trying to disperse, and you're following them and forcing them off the sidewalk, and then arresting them for forcing them off the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's
like,
fucking crazy.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
In that video, there was a crosswalk right there, right?
There was
That's
a
where you
crosswalk.
got, and
They
you couldn't even
wouldn't-
use the crosswalk.
No.
See, when you were telling me the story, I was thinking you were asking to go through their line. Like, can I go beyond you? You guys are like locked up making
Absolutely
this
not.
line.
No,
You're going
no.
like
I'm crossing the street.
along their face, across their face. You
Parallel.
can't,
I'm going
parallel with
to
them, and they wouldn't like. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, here in Vegas,
doesn't make
people
any
just run
sense.
across the freeway and it's okay.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
ride bicycles on the
I see
interstate.
that
I've
happen
seen
like
it.
yeah,
Right,
10 times a
right.
day.
There was people walking in the medians. There was people, all over.
It was because you had the sign,
it's
because you were
because we
there,
had the sign, and
yeah.
because-
and then they had your photo earlier.
Yes,
And they
which
were
I
like,
was just
"Hey,
gonna show
you know what would
yeah.
make great fucking footage and great news? We've already got
That's-
half the story built."
That's kind of what I think, and I hate to because I am so weird about conspiracy
Right.
theories. I hate to come off like that. But I mean, here I'll show it to you again. Earlier in that day, before all this, Channel 8 had already posted our picture. Hold on, let me find it for you. So I had already seen it on Facebook, and I already commented like, "Hey, here's my new favorite picture of me and my daughter," having no idea that where there'd be pictures of us getting arrested. That I would like even more than that. Not like, I'm just saying. Hold on, where are they? Vaginas. Sorry, guys. There's so much fucking smut. So much smut on my phone.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Sala's secretly hoping you drop your phone before you leave.
Low key,
Dude,
a little bit, yeah.
I'll airdrop you. So here's.
Yeah, just want to see the variety.
Okay, what am I looking at here?
So this was while we were at the protest. Channel 8 had taken this picture of us like right when we got there.
Yeah.
So I posted it like, "Hey, thanks. This is cool. We're protesting, yeah. And then an hour later get arrested. So I almost wonder if because that went to media or whatever, they're already looking for us. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know how fucking crazy.
Well,
that
they didn't have to
sounds.
look for you.
They didn't have to.
Right.
They had a picture of us already.
Yeah,
but,
and you were there. Yeah, in
yeah,
their
and
face.
I just happened to be, like, oh, there's that lady that had a sign or whatever.
right.
She's by herself now, And again, I'm not going to say I was being completely innocent, but I was not being confrontational. I wasn't being an asshole. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm holding a sign,
weren't
dude.
posing a
Like,
risk.
I really wasn't. Like, and if anything, like, my whole thing was like, we're supposed to be social distancing. Like, if I go on the sidewalk right now, it's a little bit crowded. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just, whatever.
You'll-
Are you really going to arrest me? Yes, they are really going to arrest me.
Right.
And they did.
The only thing I can think of where they felt like it was necessary for you to go over there was because if the crowd was getting big, maybe they were afraid that everyone was going to follow your lead. And
Oh,
then,
God, no. Who am I?
well, maybe they were inspired by it. Maybe they were
No.
inspired by you putting your foot down and then putting your line in the sand the
There
same way
wasn't-
they put their line in, and they're like, hey, let's go do this. This lady is fucking standing up for us. She's really protesting. Let's go do it. And maybe they were trying to avoid, maybe they just want to show everybody, like, this is not what we're going to do.
Right, I guess.
We're not going to
I
let this
guess.
fucking happen.
It wasn't a huge crowd behind us. It was just crowded enough where I'm not comfortable being on the corner with that close to that many people. Like, you can see that we had masks and everything still,
Yeah.
but we were trying to catch up to the bigger group. But I
Okay.
can see your point. Yeah, and I did hear a family member say, yeah, like our job is to get rid of the rowdy ones. And I said, well, who was being rowdy?
Yeah,
like you seen the
you were
video.
being
Like
rowdy,
I
right.
wasn't being rowdy, but so yeah, I can succeed to that. I can succumb to that point. Like okay, I can kind of see that, but not really. Like because I mean, again, I wasn't screaming and yelling. I have a megaphone. I'm just like, really, you're not gonna let me cross the street, dude? Come on.
Right.
I'm just trying to catch up with
that
my
was
group.
the shitty part is
Yeah.
like your friends are over there. Like someone is gonna get upset. They're gonna make somebody upset. Rather, their job is to de-escalate shit, to make
Yeah.
shit not happen, to like bring shit down from the level of like crimes happening and stuff like that.
Right.
But instead, by not simply letting you walk across the street,
You made it
like
seem.
they made the scene. They made that happen. They took it to that level, and that's
they
the fucked
wanted
up thing.
to.
And that their job is not that. Is
Yeah.
the exact opposite. That's why I feel like they're out there. They're supposed to be making sure that people are driving the speed limit so that like I'm not in danger and my family and friends and everybody else who not in danger, that people aren't driving drunk, that people aren't
Right,
fucking
right.
doing stupid shit, carrying,
Beating on
you know,
each
like
other, you know.
that's it. So that everybody else can be safe. Not like make someone who stay on one side of the street or the other. Like what fucking year are we living in?
Right. Yeah, that's a whole fucking nother discussion.
Right.
A whole
It's
nother-
one hell of a fucking year. Oh, the fuckery
Yeah.
of 2020.
Dude.
I can't wait to get out. Honestly, like I feel bad for like someone who was born this year because like anybody who knows this year, like who who's not a child, obviously, who's like a grown enough, old enough to understand this year and this happened, and then in the future you're like, oh, how old are you? Oh, you were born in 2020. Oh, you're gonna get the eye roll every fucking time, right? You'll be like, oh, that fucking year, holy shit.
I feel bad for the high schoolers. They're like,
yeah, that's terrible.
Dramatically changing their future.
Yeah.
Sports, the athletes,
The
scholarships,
all of
their
that.
education is just
Oh,
gone
the
down.
graduations. I was okay with the graduation.
And eventually,
Didn't have to
that's
stay
the
up for
generation that's one day gonna take over and be
Dude.
running the United States one
Right.
day.
Can I say something about this generation though? Did you guys see what the little TikTok kids did
No.
with that rally?
No, I did
I don't
not.
care what side you're on. This shit was genius.
What?
So Trump had his rally in Oklahoma, and all these TikTok kids, like the high school kids or whatever, they did this like, I don't know, secret thing. I'm 39, so from what I understand, from those young whippersnappers, what they did, they registered a bunch of tickets to go to the rally.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then
I know where
nobody
you're going.
showed up.
Yeah.
It was like empty.
I know where you're going.
And
And then he was like, "We're gonna have to put 2 of them on." There's so many fucking people showing up. That was
Look,
fucking
man,
good.
Like these little fucking
Asshole
trolls.
little
I love
fuckers.
them.
Yeah,
Yes.
they
There's
fucking
this
got
hope
him.
for the future.
They were so fucking. They
Like,
got him
and
so
I don't
hard.
care what side you're on. Like, I don't care if you're Democrat or
'Cause
Republican.
he
Like,
looked
these
like an
fucking
asshole.
kids just trolled somebody.
Yeah, he looked like an asshole because
Yes.
somebody was saying something about. It was like the following week. They were like, nobody showed up to that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, they had to make a second date because there were so many fucking people that showed up. He's like, yeah, but nobody showed up. Like, I guess all the tickets, like people registered for the tickets, but nobody actually showed up. And I'm like, what? That's fucking weird. How would that happen?
These kids are so malicious.
But now I know. Now I know. That's fucking amazing.
That, whole thing with 50 Cent and Ja Rule, remember
Yes,
that?
when
Yeah.
he bought
Ja
up.
Rule had
Oh,
a concert,
every
50 Cent
seat
bought
to the
every
concert.
seat, and nobody was there.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beef goes a long way.
Fuck, dude, that's crazy.
50 Cent is an asshole. Like,
He is a
he's
fucking
he's
asshole.
a mega
Yeah.
troll. I
Dude,
fucking
he's
love him
amazing.
too,
I
man.
think
He's
he's
genius.
Yes.
Dude, he's genius. He did that thing with fucking him and Kanye West where they made up that thing where it's like, whoever sells the least amount of records has to retire, right? And he didn't give a fuck because he can just go back on and be like, I'm out of retirement, bitches. How many people do that? But what he did was cause like this huge media like hysteria, and everybody went out and was like, no, Kanye. Every fucking Kanye fan and every 50 Cent fan made sure they bought an album that fucking Tuesday. They didn't wait till they got paid. They went and fucking hawked some shit so they can get their fucking CD so their boy don't retire.
Yeah.
Genius. That fucking guy, 50 Cent, he's genius. And then he also owns like vitamin water, right?
Wait, does he?
I heard that he was like had a huge
Yeah,
stake in vitamin water, but the fucking guy's just enough.
Guy's own
He knows his
vodka
own
and shit,
shit.
too.
He got shot 9 times, and now he's like
Now walk with the limp.
fuck, dude, yeah, goddamn,
Yeah.
that's great. Anyway,
Yeah, I gotta respect any troll that puts that much
that's
effort.
great.
It's like, man,
Yeah, the
that's
energy,
pretty funny.
yeah.
makes
Dude,
my heart
I'm
proud.
pretty good at trolling on TikTok.
Same.
I just created one just to comment stupid shit.
I don't do TikTok, but I'm a troll in
Instagram,
general.
too.
Yeah, we gotta friend each other.
Yeah.
I think we'll get along.
I do it
He's
just
this
to see
guy's
a
witty as
reaction.
fuck. He pisses me off on a regular. This shit.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
just make stuff up on purpose. Like sarcasm is my
Yeah.
first language.
Oh, he's-
Same.
that
Or just
shit.
make a meme and then, oh,
yeah,
really?
That's
Yep.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yep. As of 4:16 p.m. This is a fact.
Yeah.
From the vault of Dirty Kristi.
There's a guy we work with. I
Taking the ball.
won't name his name because he'll probably listen to this, but he gets caught on a regular by this dude sleeping. And this guy, I don't know how many videos he has with like songs playing in the background, and it's like
this
the
dude's
great
sleeping with his
effects.
mouth open, it's like,
And then he's got the best music to go with it every time.
Close your eyes,
It's fucking, like zooming in all slow. It's like it's got good production to it. And it's like this dude's just sleeping at.
Oh,
It's
man.
fucking. And I'm like,
Because
you motherfucker! I shut my door every time I go on break. Like fuck you! I shut
That's
my
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
The
awesome.
first thing that goes through my head is like, what's gonna make people laugh?
Yes, same,
And then I see this
same.
guy right across with his mouth open, sleeping peacefully. But
Dude,
let's make
I
a
got
video.
5 hours of footage of my husband snoring. Please
Yeah.
make art out of it.
Yeah, right. No, this guy's amazing. Yeah, he's good at that shit.
yeah,
Dude,
a lot of this stuff is based more to just make people smile.
no, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing. Mine are obviously to get my husband to sleep in the other room. Like, look what you did, motherfucker! Like,
If it was made a different way, I would look like an asshole.
well,
But since I put Boys to Men, it looks
oh, yeah,
genius.
yeah.
And the guy who, if he eventually like found out or saw it, he'd be like, "You fucker!" Like, he'd be cool
I
with it.
showed him.
Yeah.
I said, hey, just to let you know, I made a video about you. I think it's hilarious as fuck. And I showed him with the song playing, and he goes, dog, that was so funny. He was like, oh my God.
That was a good impersonation.
He's like, fuck, it reminds me when I was in Huntington Beach.
Oh, now you gave it away. Now everybody's going to know who you're talking about.
I drive that guy to work every day.
Yeah, he was, fuck. That was so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, well, I got another one, but I'm not going to tell you yet.
Oh, man.
I don't like to put all the stuff out.
You gotta put the 70s porno music to it.
A little bit.
Not this week, but next week. This week's the outage. I think he's working with you on night shift, right?
Yeah.
So the following week, when he goes into his truck, he always has his window down and the seat back.
Oh, I got a video
mouth
of that
open.
too.
No, I want to bring grapes for next. In a couple weeks, I want you to film me trying to make fucking 3-point shots into his mouth. Can we do that?
Nice.
Oscar Mayer wieners.
Hey,
Dude, I got a grip of dildos. They're all yours if you want.
We would
That
get
might be too
like
extreme.
it would be bad because I would. I would get in a lot of trouble because I would go fucking way too far with that shit.
A hot dog might be okay.
Here's your Photoshop.
Yeah.
Self.
Yeah.
Yeah, just try to make people laugh, like dumb fuckery, you know.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's good.
It doesn't have to be extreme to
I
laugh.
love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but stuff like that just
Yes.
it's cool.
Yes.
Or I'll post like the dumbest memes. I
Same.
posted like a little Asian girl just waking up with her eyes barely open. It said how I feel every morning at 5 a.m. And she's just like, she looks like it was the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, I just fucking hung
Waking
over.
up for work is the worst feeling in the world.
Facts.
It is. It is.
I got a
It
whole.
don't matter if you love it or not.
It doesn't matter if you
Nobody
wake up.
wants to wake up when you're comfortable.
Dude, I love my job and I still don't like to wake up for work. And I got a pretty cool job. I can't go into too much detail about it, but get to work with naked ladies.
Yeah, I'm sure you.
Yeah, it has a lot of vaginas in her
I don't
phone.
think
Yes.
anybody would
Which I'm
dislike
still waiting
that.
for her to fall.
There's mine.
Fuck!
Go ahead, scroll through. I love them.
It would be like working in like a candy factory as a kid. Eventually, that kid's gonna be like, "Fuck this fucking candy already."
candy.
Yeah, fuck that candy. You can keep it. Sick of seeing candy.
Yeah. Another vagina.
Right. Another and another one.
Hey, one of her memes, it says, when you queef one time during sex and find out you saved it in his phone as Queen Latifah.
Queef Latifah.
Queeflet.
Latifah. I forgot the F. Queef Latifah.
God damn.
Genius.
That's pretty
I
funny.
had one job and I fucked it up right there.
I was like, I don't get it.
Queef.
I wanted to laugh just because like I didn't want to
Yeah, I
leave you
fucked it up.
fucking.
Damn.
Where's it at? Hold on.
I was so excited.
Where's that fucking sound at? Did you move it?
No, it's not that one.
Where is it? No. Fucking. And then-
There it is. It's the green button.
Oh,
There it is. Fucking
shit.
Queen Latifah. You missed it.
yeah, queef. There's one letter. Damn. Fucked it up, man.
Dude.
I like these memes.
I got a ton of them.
That's good.
I love memes.
So do I.
Memes
So
are the
do I.
shit.
Yeah.
I like the dirty memes. It doesn't
Same.
matter because they're all relatable.
Same. If you can make me shoot snot out of my, oh man, hey, we're gonna be best
I
friends.
shoot snot even when
Shoot
it's not
COVID
funny.
out your nose.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Fuck.
Man.
God. I can't wait till we're like they come up with some like a solution, a vaccine, something to where we can. Even though they say there's
Mark
never
up
going to be
the
a normal,
beast.
this is going to be the new normal. But like, we got to get somewhere other than like this. I want to be able to go to a fucking concert and crowd surf and mosh and all that shit again. And I'm scared that's not going to happen. I'm
Same.
fucking over it, and I'm tired of the
I've never
mask.
been, but I would like to go.
Same.
Like I got my ass reamed on social media. It's like I'm over this fucking mask shit,
I saw
right?
it.
And like,
I
oh,
couldn't
holy fuck, I got nailed on it. I'm like, I'm not saying I don't wear a mask. I'm saying I'm fucking over it. And then of course I'm like, oh fuck it, let's go for it. Let's go, let's run with it. I'm like, and I just went. I just stayed on one side of the fence. I didn't even
You went
waver.
full asshole.
I didn't
Never go
waver.
full
I
asshole.
went on it. I was like, fuck it, here we go.
I
was
seen
like,
it.
at the end of the day, I still wore a mask, but like, I'm like, fuck you. Shame on me is what got me. Shame on you. Ooh, shame. I felt like Bobby Boucher, like,
Oh,
yep. Shame on you. What? It's shame. Like, what the fuck? That's like pretty extreme. Shame on me for saying that I hate wearing a mask. Like,
I think we all hate them, but
yeah,
it's
but
necessary.
does it-
evil.
yeah.
So,
Shame.
So that like,
Shame.
you know how you post all your memes and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
The memes that you like and like save and all that stuff, that's pretty much what our podcast equivalent is supposed to be.
Oh, awesome.
Like we like talking about the dumbest shit. But
Oh,
there's
man.
dumb shit everywhere.
You'd-
But also sometimes, we like to talk about serious shit.
You need a wingman with tits? I'm here.
Yeah. That's too,
I'm
I
here
got a
too.
vagina too.
I'm here too. Wingman with
I can
tits.
queef. What? I said it.
I could queef out my ass. No,
Queef
That's a
Latifah.
fart.
it's called a fart.
Unless
I
there's a
could do
dick pushing
both at
air
the
in
same
it.
time.
Unless there's a dick pushing air in it, it'd still be a queef or no?
That's a whole nother game. That's a good question.
Yeah.
There needs to be a name for when you push it back and forth. Because you guys don't have a vagina, but you can fart and it
I
goes
know,
up the
fish
front.
is pretty close.
And then you squat and it'll come out. But sometimes it goes right back.
Does it really?
Yeah, I don't know what the word is for that.
What do you mean back? Like
It
a
goes
reverse queef.
Yeah, yes.
like-
yeah.
What?
like you
Put
have
the
a
finger
vacuum?
and
Oh, really?
reverse it.
What the?
Nice.
And then you burp.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a weird. Huh.
Queefs are weird.
You got like an airboat.
Yeah,
in your
it's a
vagina.
fweek.
Yeah.
This is backwards. What the fweek?
A quart.
Yeah. It's a fork.
I just quarted right now.
Just totally forked.
Farted.
Yeah. That's great.
Sounds like a fancy gem cut. Like, oh, what is that? What is that gem under here? It's a quart. I earned it myself
Yeah, made it just for you.
and polished it.
Want to smell it?
Scratch and sniff.
Sniff.
Oh man,
Man, that's disgusting.
how did we get to this? Sorry.
I have no
I don't know,
idea.
but now
That
I
was a
have stuff to
complete
say for this
change.
shit. Like, I didn't have something to say the first time.
Oh, now we're speaking your language.
No,
Yeah.
The man of fine taste.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
It's a solid subject of choice. Queefs.
No. Queef,
Yeah.
Imagine like going down there and bam, queef. Like,
Oh, it was. I have a pretty funny queef story. So here,
I mean, it happens every now and then.
I do. So
Shit.
oh gosh, take
my
a whiff.
my high school girlfriend, we're like, I don't know, 16. She's hanging out at the house. My best friend Josh, he comes in, and I had just recently learned that my girlfriend can queef on command. Like,
Ooh, nice.
she can do this weird fucking thing with her stomach, suck air in. You can hear her go like that, right? That's exactly how it sounds. It goes, and then depending on how like she holds her legs or does whatever, and then she could push it out. She can make all different types of sounds, right?
Yeah.
So it's like usually like,
Like a Mr. Ed.
yep.
Skills.
Yeah. And so she can do this like literally like back to back to back. Right? That's what it sounds like. So Josh comes in, and I had just recently learned this. I'm like, holy shit. He comes in my room, and somehow her and I had like said, I got to do this. I got to prank Josh. I got to show him. So I'm pretending like I'm farting. I'm like, her and I are sitting really close together. So I'm like, fuck, Josh. I set it up. I'm like, dude, I don't know what I ate, but it's bad. And so I'd lean over, and she would let one. Right? And I'm like holding like, oh, so I'm pretending like it's coming out of me. I'm like, fuck. And then she just kept going, and I'm having to pretend I'm acting like it's coming out of me, and I'm like, fuck. God damn. And it was endless. And he's looking at me, his eyes are getting big. He turns around, my mom's in the house. He goes, Robin. She's like, you need to take your son to the hospital. I think there's something really wrong with him. And meanwhile, he's talking about my fucking girlfriend queefing, dude. Like,
Oh god.
it's so bad. And he was like,
Farts smell like tuna casserole.
no,
Why?
you had to go there. You had to go there.
I'm Dirty Kristi for
Yeah.
Sitting out in the sun for 10 hours.
Oh no.
halibut.
What kind of girls do you think I was running with? Fuck, dude, you guys are fucked
Oh
up.
no, small town.
I didn't find her. Yeah.
Holly halibut.
Fuck.
Tina tuna.
Yep, there you go.
I'm allergic
Fuck,
to fish.
Kristi
just
Cod.
throwing it out there.
Kristi Cod.
Fuck you, buddy. Oh man.
Fact though, I really am allergic to fish.
Are you allergic to queefs though?
I'm
That's
probably
it.
the worst islander there is.
Yeah, how can you be a Pacific Islander and be allergic to fish? That's not in your blood, in your DNA.
Straight up rice and spam for you.
You're not like born with barnacles on your ass.
Rice and spam. Maybe.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't eat fish either. It's been an unfortunate
But you have the
11 years
choice.
together.
Pescado. That's fun. Damn.
It took you a second.
I was thinking of the word
Oh,
fish
yeah,
for
now-
Spanish, right?
now
Yeah,
I got it.
there comes fish. Yeah, I don't have to be. I don't have to be the fastest person. I just have to be faster than the slowest
Probably
person.
the first.
Well, you're faster than me because I still don't get it.
Let me sit on your lap for a minute.
The snail race.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good.
Snail trails.
All right.
You know that's why they clean
So-
the stripper pole so often, right?
Why they do what?
The sludge on the stripper pole.
Snail trails
The
on it.
snail trail.
Is there a sludge?
Oh yes.
I just thought there was. I didn't know there
No,
was.
there-
Yeah, I was like, I had to
absolutely.
imagine there was, but I didn't know for sure.
That's why they keep it dark in there.
Yep, dark. Very dark.
Take a
The
light
streaks
look, yeah.
across the stage
That's
floor.
terrible.
Film. That's the birthplace of COVID right there.
Yeah.
Stripper
yeah.
pole.
Oh,
God
man.
bless those hoes. I
Probably
love
Turn
them.
the black light on. It looks like your fucking garden. like-
CSI.
Looks like a negative photo.
Just white.
Oh, the negative figure. Like, oh, damn.
Like, what is happening over there? That's good. Oh, well, I was thinking about that, actually. I thought of you,
Hostess.
like anything, like not trying to be mean, but I don't have any stripper friends or ex-stripper friends or
Okay.
anybody even close to it, right? So someone said, like, they're trying to get rid of cash, right? And I guess that's a
Yeah.
thing. I have no idea, but it came up, and I was like, how the fuck are we going to pay strippers?
They have the thing on their phone.
Venmo, right?
They've been
I
having
said-
it on their phone. A little swipey, stripey.
That too.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'll just put the Venmo
Yeah.
number tattooed where the butterfly used to be.
Yeah. That's fucking genius. That's genius.
What's your Venmo? Mm-hmm. Turn around.
Uh-huh. It's just right there. Or up the ass crack.
Oh, yeah.
Peaches 69.
Peaches
Right.
69.
Fuck, dude, we're like a minute and 40 in. That's cool.
I like canned peaches.
yeah.
Just saying.
Camping? What?
No,
Canned peaches.
Peaches.
Oh, canned peaches.
69.
There's
Oh,
a
okay.
fleshlight
I like
joke in there
canned
somewhere,
peaches.
but it
Little bit.
didn't come fast enough to.
Oh, man.
You said I like camping too, and I was thinking we are talking about the joke that if you went camping and you're, you know,
Back to the car.
Yeah, no, yeah, she was like a
Halibut.
Peaches 69 for the Venmo name, and I was like, I like canned peaches.
oh, okay, nice.
Millions of peaches.
I guess you had to have been there.
I got you.
Yeah,
brother.
that was
I
so
got you.
random. Yeah. I don't know why I said that, but I really
Peaches
do
for
like
me.
canned peaches.
I love that song. Whatever happened to those guys? Presidents
I
of the
don't
United
know.
States of America was a really long name.
But I wish they were here now. I would give anything.
That'd be a fun song to hear, like their take on everything going on right
Good
now.
Lord.
Their versions.
Who is this?
The band that sings Peaches.
Remember they sang that lump song too?
She's lump.
She's lump. She might be.
Way
How
before
old are
my
you?
time.
You guys are-
Where do you find this young buck?
Way before our time. He's older
Both
than
of
I
them.
am.
Yeah, he's.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm only 27.
Ew.
Well, they think I'm their age too, so.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
he's
say
young
shit.
at heart.
Like I'm old.
He's
I,
not much older.
I should know better. I don't, but I should.
What are you talking about? Aren't you 21?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When
times-
he said, "Oh, we're gonna
times
bring
two.
the mom on," I thought you were the daughter.
Ah, this guy.
Nice.
You're gonna get a
Good
snail trail on your lap.
Come on. Damn it.
Working
Don't touch
on
my
it.
board no more.
Get off my shit, yo.
Get off my shit.
We were just talking about pickup lines earlier.
Oh, I really was. Hey, do you like raisins?
Oh no! Wait, yes.
How about a date?
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Thank you. That was a good one.
Thanks. I laughed
welcome.
way
Chirp,
harder than that joke
chirp.
deserved. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
It was supposed to be lame, but it's funny. Like, hey, if you laugh either way, I don't care if
it
you
was
laugh because
good.
it sucks or laugh because it's good. You're laughing.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I love you, Sala.
Yeah, I know.
I laugh at
I
all
love
your
you now,
jokes.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty great. Just saying, but
He's all right.
yeah, a little bit.
It's okay. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on to the show. and
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
I like how passionate you are about what you stand for.
Thank
and
you.
I like your memes.
Hey,
I like all the dumb
did we just
He's
become
like,
best
but
friends?
most importantly, can I get your memes?
Can I get your memes? Like,
I'll airdrop them to you right
yeah,
now.
airdrop them. One State Pub. Like,
Along with the peach ones, too. The canned peaches he's so in love with.
little canned peaches. Yeah.
Pop that right into a flashlight.
Yeah. But yeah,
Squishy. I bet it'll queef.
Dude, we gotta. So, a little nice. Next time, not so heavy, right?
Yes,
Come
yeah.
on, we can do this. What we just did for the last 10 minutes, we can do that again, have more fun.
Right
Thanks
on.
for coming out again. Peace out.
yeah.
Guys, thank you. That's fun.